Right, it is the club. It's back. It's 1st of July. It's a month on from the big Champions League 6-time victory for the Reds. We are brought to you in association with Redsbet, a betting site tailor-made for Liverpool supporters. Redsbet aims to share half the net profits with Liverpool supporters and fan causes. So no matter what, the fans end up a winner. Check out the odds on redsbet.com or download the Redsbet app. Share the glory and gamble responsibly. Right, so we'll start off, as I say, it's a month to the day. This time last month we were all watching the final. We were already 1-0 up. Things were going okay. We were about to win our 6th Champions League. How are you feeling a month on, Andy? Did it change your life?
Yeah. It's just brilliant that, you know, all the content that's out there, like, you're just fed with it for weeks and weeks. And then I found this week there was brand new unseen content.
It's amazing, isn't it, how they've held stuff back?
Yeah,
just to keep feeding it.
7-minute video from the official site is phenomenal.
Brilliant.
It is the editing, the production on it is just absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I was like, how have they still got more content?
I know.
It's just like,
you just wonder how long they're going to keep it going. Are they going to keep it right the way up to, you know, the pre-season games kicking off and all that? So they're going to keep feeding the frenzy.
Yeah, I'd say they will.
There's some incredible amateur stuff done as well. Like somebody recreated the MI Life that Sky had. There was a guy. I'll actually have to get it on my phone again.
I think I know the one you mean. Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen amateur editing like that. I mean, I'm not even like an enthusiast for this sort of stuff, but I couldn't believe the quality of this guy's stuff, things coming in, and you know, they all had little meanings throughout the season. So yeah, fully, like, you know, we're a month later and it's unbearable. Liverpool fans,
isn't it just
going at it constantly still? Like, a day doesn't go past where we're not talking about it, you know. It's brilliant, and we kind of just didn't have the platform in 2005 and all that content
to capitalise
really
on.
Enjoy it.
To soak it up.
And even, like, I think from the club perspective, like, you know, there's all the things about after 2005 they didn't have any shirts prepared. None of that.
They were totally unprepared.
Whereas this time they were totally ready for it. They had all the merchandise ready to go, and, you know, it was on the site. You know, some of us have ordered stuff as well, and they delivered within a week or two, and it was like really well done. The site didn't crash or anything like that, so it's just, I think everyone was prepared for it this time, including the club. So
I mean, we were in 2005. We were, you know, the highlight was probably getting the DVD, wasn't it? Let's face it. Do you know what I mean? How the world's moved on in those 14 years. I mean, the Unbearable Reds. I mean, I'm loving that strapline. I mean, what would it be like to be a United or an Everton fan or something like that over the last month? It must have been horrific.
I don't know how Everton fans are coping. There was, like, there's been mad things where they all gathered together in pubs in Real Madrid, or in sports gears, sports fucking kits.
Yeah, well, they did it last year for Real Madrid as well.
Did any of you see the tweet of this girl tweeted of her father?
Of the father in his
he's in an Everton onesie.
Yeah.
And he's in an Everton onesie and he's holding the Spurs cup and the Spurs business card, and he's lying back having a tea and a biscuit watching the European Cup.
And you see, like, if you go down through that girl's media on the thing, like, there's all posters around the house, like copoids or gobshites, and she got a flag done with all these things, like, just random.
Listen, I don't know how they live from day to day.
The best thing, like, Napoli released some sort of sticker with Everton on it.
Oh, yeah.
And Everton were boasting about, like, we're, you know, Napoli know that we're the team. So we won the Champions League and they won the Napoli sticker.
Did Napoli go on a tour of Everton while they were over playing us in the Champions League or something?
I don't know, like, it's random.
Everton twinned with Naples. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, they twin with anyone who could put one up on Liverpool.
And you know what I love watching as well? The the song in White Hart Lane when everything were playing them.
Last game of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah. We're going to have a party.
And I felt sorry for the outfit in that though.
Yeah, to see him looking
There's
around.
an outfit sitting, they're all singing away, and it pans to this outfit, and he's sitting there as if to go, I can't fucking believe we're singing this. Like, he genuinely looked like an embarrassed Everton fan singing it.
His whole life was just flashing before him.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It's, look,
There was something similar actually that I seen when after we won. The West Ham fans were congregating outside the ground. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Celebrating the fact that Spurs had fucked it up again.
outside their own ground or outside?
Outside
Or I thought it was outside Spurs
outside
ground.
their own ground. A lot of them, They'd obviously been in the local
Didn't they
pubs.
do a tweet as well? Like, congratulations to Liverpool from everybody at West Ham, like, as if to say, thank fuck Spurs didn't do it.
So, I mean, look, a month on, and I guess... I mean, does pre-season, does it officially start today, 1st of July? Do some players get called? Some players get called back, contracts and all that sort of stuff expire and start and all that sort of stuff.
Because they had your man, Alan, has his loan deal in Brazil has been extended for another 6 months or something like that. So all these things have started. So
officially the clock starts on the season today, basically. I guess some players, I mean, there's players
10
all
days
over
time.
the place, isn't
we
there?
start games in 10 days time.
The 11th of July, a pre-season game against Tranmere, really, I suppose, starts things off. But I guess there's players still to come back from Copa America. I mean, that's down to the semi-final stage. Has anyone managed to see any of that over the last few weeks? Anyone got any thoughts on how
the couple of games
Bobby is getting on?
Bobby's scoring goals, so that's a good thing. He's scoring no-look goals as well.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the games. The players look so tired over there. They look so withdrawn because obviously you've got a lot of teams who've played the guts of probably 60 games with Champions League games and their cup games, etc. The players look so out on their feet. Even the Brazil one that Alisson saved the penalty win. That game as well. The players look.
There was a lot of 0-0s actually in there, wasn't there? Yeah, just going straight. Thankfully, the games are going straight to penalties,
which can be slightly a worry going
time.
into a new season as well, with all them playing in different little tournaments around the world at the moment. And we saw after the World Cup, Firmino wasn't great that season. After the World Cup, he was. It took him a while to get into the rhythm of things as well, but.
It might actually work to his benefit though this time.
Yeah, it's
considering he's coming, he's coming back from
no, I agree. And there's one thing, Ray, I know you're saying a month on, you've gone into pre-season, but there was just a beautiful side came this week, and I know we've spoke about this player a lot. Andy Gav, I know we spoke a lot about this player. Constantly we speak a lot about this player on Twitter. His ex-skipper was asked this week, was he jealous of him picking up a European Cup? What about Jordan Henderson's tattoo, boys?
You're jealous of it?
Absolutely sensational. I think, as a tattoo enthusiast, I'm thinking I'm going to get one.
Where did he get it? Top of the leg, wasn't it?
He top of his quad, and he got it done in the US where he's on holidays. Isn't that just quality? Isn't that just a two fingers up to people?
Who actually asked Gerrard, like, are you jealous of
it wasn't someone from a Twitter site that's getting constantly lashed out this week because he's putting up stupid things and players are coming back.
Listen, but no, it's just a stupid question to ask Gerrard. Like, are you jealous like, if you watch Gerrard in the aftermath of the final, he's beaming. The fella is just he's Liverpool through and through. Like, and
I think Tubes actually from Soccer AM actually put under the quote or whatever. Who the hell asked that question?
Yeah, no, because it's I don't know whether it's trying to store something up that's just not there. Because listen, if Gerrard was anyway jealous of Jordan Henderson or the team Jurgen Klopp has now, or the success they're having, he wouldn't be at Anfield for games, and he wouldn't be in Madrid. You know, the kind of way.
It's like getting a once in a lifetime opportunity to meet Klopp and asking him, "Are we signing a DM?"
Yeah.
One question only.
Yeah.
What would I ask Klopp?
We just got a DM me Instagram
When we get DM.
What you said that?
Fuck off.
But
that's not.
No, it's look. You'll find things now. And I think even more so now because they've won the European Cup, you're going to find really fucking stupid headlines about Liverpool and different things, you know, like no matter what decision they make now on anyone or anything, it's magnified even more now after what happened a month ago because we're really there to be shot at, really, and that's the truth, we're there to be shot at.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Unbearable tagline it comes from the fact that obviously people. I think some of it comes from the fact that people were genuinely starting to not want us to win that league. And it's, I don't think we're unbearable as such, considering, look, we won our 6th European Cup. We deserve our sort of moment in the sun, sort of thing. And I think for most fans now, we've had our month or whatever. I think a lot of fans will seriously be looking towards what we can do for the next season. I think that's fair to say. I mean, if we move this on into the transfers now and from a serious perspective, as opposed to a lot of all the nonsense that's flying around.
What you mean, apart from Adam Bogdan no longer being a Liverpool player anymore? That type of thing?
Look, all that stuff can go on. For me, that's just, look, let's move certain players on. Let's move beyond all of that. But the serious business for me is that we can't afford to just stay still. We've got to make some signings that improve this squad. Now, they may not be players who start day one or this season a lot, but who are the priorities for you then as we move through the next few weeks? Who have we got? Which part of the pitch have we got to add some depth to, Andy?
Look, we went after Fekir last year, and that void that Klopp identified hasn't been filled yet. So when Coutinho went, he's seen that. But then you look at Ox coming back now, and Keita has his 4th season under his belt. You wonder, will he bother investing so much money?
Has he got injured again, hasn't he? So that's a bit
they seem to be running him into the ground over there at the moment, just trying to get him fit.
There's a Liverpool doctor, I think a lot more is being paid out.
Oh, okay. But, I heard something about that.
Yeah, so that's the area, I suppose, on the pitch now where he's going to want to improve. Just a 4th man that can cover the front three, that's of the same level, or go in behind them to link up. Because at stages last season we were missing that player to the transition from the deeper to the guys up top. And Salah played centrally at times, and when Firmino wasn't playing so well. So we could have really done with someone there. I still believe we could do with that. And then you just don't know with Ox what sort of season he'll have coming back after such an injury.
It was the draws, Andy, that we sort of missed that player, wasn't it? Them crucial draws in that month. I think we really missed that player who could just do something from that area in the middle and just take on.
That's just a big money area, I would say. And then after that, you got to be looking at competition for left back, and where you can bring in someone to rest Robertson. I just can't see a player having such a phenomenal season again as he did. He was flawless, and he played every minute possible. So it'd be unfair to expect him to.
It's a tricky sell, isn't it, to bring someone in above a certain level, knowing that they are going to be second choice. We're not going to be suddenly bringing people in to take the position away from Robertson or Trent. They're there for the season unless something badly goes wrong. So it is difficult.
It needs to be youth. So you're not going to be spending. United's gone out and they've spent 50 million on a fullback. That's not going to happen because we kind of have defence covered. Yeah, we have backup defenders, but we just need a little bit extra. Yeah, just as backup. So maybe a youngster there if there's one float around Europe.
It could be a youngster, but I was doing a show earlier and the thing came in about Ryan Bertrand.
That's been on Twitter.
This is a very tentative link. I think it was probably 1 or 2 accounts done it. Yeah. I could see a Bertrand happening. Yeah, and the reason is you could bring in youth, fair enough. Like I made a case for Sessegnon a couple of times, but it's fairly big money for a guy.
He's going to Spurs,
but he's not left full. What I Gav, he's more,
maybe not. Maybe not.
We don't play full-backs anyway. So,
but the thing is, he's left-footed. He's athletic. He's quick. He's an eye for goal when he plays foot of the pitch. Listen, it doesn't matter what he is. If Klopp gets him in and wants him to play there, Klopp will make him play there and make him better at what he's doing. But I can see an argument for Bertrand because Bertrand is 30 years of age and he could be looking at it going, look, I could hang around 14, 15 with Southampton, or I could get myself an extra 30 grand a week, go to Liverpool, get probably the last big contract in my career. And look, if the squad they have there, look, we got horrible draws in the league and FA Cup last year. But if you compare it to the likes of City,
might have runs.
Liverpool get a couple of games into a League Cup and all of a sudden you're looking at going quarters, semis. Same with the FA Cup. You have the World Club Cup or whatever the fuck they call it now in December, is it?
Yeah, it's only 2 games.
But it's 2 games where you still have to travel and come back, so you're probably looking at a league game either side of that as well.
You probably
going out and playing both.
You wouldn't play Robertson in the first game, for example, because it's usually quite a low standard.
But you could probably say to this Bertrand or whoever, we're bringing you over and you're playing in both games over there.
Yeah.
You know, we're giving Robertson a rest.
You're looking at promising, but you're looking at positioning a player like that for something like maybe 15 games plus sub appearances. Yeah,
but let's be honest. If you're telling Bertrand he can get 15 games, plus if anything happened, Robertson, or anything goes awry with Robertson, you know, he could go in international duty and deal with fucking groin, and he could be over 6 weeks. And he's getting this contract, and look, players look at that. Look, I know they're all multi-millionaires, but if you tell a fella you're going to earn an extra 5 million in the next 4 years instead of same as Southampton, it could happen.
I think having a bit of Bertrand, by the way.
I'm not saying Bertrand in particular. There could be that sort of player.
You're looking at. I think what you're looking at is a comparison is something like a Shaqiri type of situation where you bring them. You bring
clubs like Bertrand just doesn't have the pedigree. You know,
I know, but I'm just saying you bring him in a modest, you know, whether it be a transfer fee, but a modest transfer fee, and you position a role that player is going to play on the basis that they're going to be quite satisfied. You bring in a Sessegnon, for example. Are they really going to be in their big kind of picture? Are they going to be happy to play that type of role, because it'll stunt their career development?
And Sessegnon would have been an option if we never found Robertson.
Correct.
Exactly. And he has to learn a lot defensively, because he's not a natural. You know, Robertson has played that sort of natural role with Hull in a defensive side. Sessegnon is not a natural full-back, lads. He's a if you're trying to trade the back, he's a wing back because he likes to score. He likes to attack. We know Robson likes to attack, but they're totally different mould of player, in fairness.
Do you think at this stage, in terms of centre back, he's happy at going with the 4 that we've got? Essentially,
there's a lot of talk about Lovren.
Yeah, there's a serious amount of talk of Lovren
and going to Italy, isn't it?
No, I was going to say I got laughed at last season for saying this, but I don't think Klopp trusts Lovren anymore, because he can't trust him to stay fit. And he did, you know, he gave, I think it was one of the press conferences last season, he definitely had a dig at Lovren where he said, you know, I thought he was going to be back, and then I find out he's out for another 8 weeks.
I think the thing with Lovren is it's a combination of, you know, picking up an injury and then his mentality, whatever his mentality is, not getting over that.
But wasn't there a stat last year that Lovren has never played 6 games consecutively for Liverpool?
Really?
I don't know how true that is.
No, but I think
for
it's
me,
pretty true.
Some of it probably comes through rotation, but
and form maybe points. So. But for me, Lovren on the 24th of December, and this is etched in my fucking brain, and he goes down against Wolves, and it's fucking 17 weeks or something that he comes back. You know, and it was a twinge. Let's be honest about it. He was taken off the pitch. There is talk that AC Milan are looking at him, and it's a £20 million fee. You know, I don't know if we go with that far. I really don't. But there was talk at the lit and different things like that. But
that's gone very, very quiet, hasn't it?
The later believe will end up at Juve.
Okay.
Well, they signed Rabiot today,
and Raiola is his agent, and obviously Ronaldo's been in the Leeds here after the game as well. I think
Raiola's ban has been lifted, hasn't it?
Yeah. So I think he ends up there.
Great timing.
Sorry, Andy. The one thing I do, as you've just spoken about Lovren there, if you flip it on its head and you speak about Matip, who was always breaking down after a run of a couple of games. If you look at
made of crisps was the running joke, wasn't it?
Yeah, made a chocolate bar, chocolate. But if you look at the mentality change in him towards December of last year, straight on.
Yeah. Oh, he went 7 months solid.
And for a fact, boys, we all know that players who can break down will break down. We've seen it with many of our players over the last few years. Do not tell me that he didn't have any niggles going through them games. That the guy is a credit to himself. Obviously there was some sort of save, some sort of mentality change. And he went, I'm playing through pain here.
Yeah.
Whereas
probably because when you play next to Van Dijk, you'll do anything to drag yourself onto the pitch.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
That's the change I could see in him, and I criticise him many times for that breaking down too easy. And I think the opposite is flipped on its head.
I was his biggest critic. One of his biggest critics. I was.
I was waiting for him to. I was waiting for him to cost us 3 points or cost us, a Champions League tie.
When Gomez gets injured, I was gutted because I thought the partnership there. I think Gomez plays about 13 league games on the trot at the start of last season.
Yeah.
And I can genuinely say, in half a dozen of them, he was our best defender. And that was beside Van Dijk.
Against Spurs in that first game.
Yeah, absolutely. And when he went, I thought, I can deal with Lovren because I can see the good and bad in him, but Van Dijk will get him through it.
Yeah.
But then when he went and Matip came in, I thought, we're fucked.
Yeah.
And I genuinely thought that. I didn't want to be, but I didn't want to be proven right. I didn't want to be like, oh, I fucking told you. You know, like some people would.
Plenty.
But in fairness to Matip, I have to hold my hands up. He went 7 months. He played every fucking game, bar when he was left out arrested for Lovren in certain games. And he was excellent. And
was it Newcastle? Was it Newcastle?
Newcastle was left out, and Van Dijk, and as Shawnee Lawson said to me, Van Dijk played on his own at the back. Because Lovren was just chasing Rondon. He was running into corners, and Rondon was standing in the middle of the pitch, going, "Where are you going?" You know what I mean? But it was mad. But you know, if you go on credit built up by players, you'd probably start Matip centre half of the next start next year.
Matip 100% starts the season because like Gomez still has a lot of fitness to catch up on. You know, if Gomez is incredible. Like, you know, Matip was brilliant for the last kind of third of the season, but I think it was taking most of us by surprise. It's just he didn't make a mistake. Like the kind of things that we got used to.
It started off with you waiting for something to happen, and then kind of that fear went away.
So he wasn't getting knocked off the ball or shoved off easy and stuff like that. So he improved vastly. But Gomez blew us away. Like the speed of him and the maturity for such a young player. And we all waited on Gomez to come into centre back, wondering would he be able to succeed. And he
Leicester away.
We're flying colours.
Leicester away, he was out of this world.
Yeah, and I think, and I've defended Lovren over time, but I think just it just feels like this could be it for him now. He couldn't do what Matip did at the end of last season. He wouldn't have been anything. He can't be trusted fitness wise. I think he pissed around last year with the jet ski incident.
Yeah, didn't he come back with a stomach injury from the World Cup or something?
Yeah. So he looks like someone who puts on a bit of a face that he's all effort and all, you know, he over-celebrated for someone who wasn't really involved. I don't know whether you noticed. Like, it looked like someone who was trying to say, oh, fuck, you know, I love this place. Like, give me a chance, I'll do anything. But it's not translating onto the pitch anymore. Like, he was, like, previously, he did put runs against together where he wasn't making mistakes. Like, we don't need him. We don't need 3 centre backs that are carry injuries. You know.
Yeah, but
the one you got to keep Gomez and you got to keep Matip. So it just means that Lovren out and bring in someone. And like I said, the defence is covered, so you don't need to spend big money. There's no chance of Dicko coming in there. I don't think. No. So you go and get a centre back, whether it's experienced or young fella, for decent money. You sell it to them that, like, look at us. The club the way it is at the moment, great opportunity. There's 2 centre backs who do struggle with injury, so you will get a good quality player coming in. That's for someone substantial.
That'd be the question for me though.
So who'll be our 4th centre back?
That's what I'm thinking, because
is it not your man we've just signed,
Vandenberg?
Yeah,
no, he's 17.
I know.
Yeah, but he's been told he's coming in to train as part of the first team. So it's a bit of a strange one. There is one situation.
But Curtis Jones trains with the first team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ben Woodburn trains with the first team. You know what I mean? Look, I'm not being. I don't mean to shoot down, but you know the kind of way. There's players there that would be brought in for nearly operational purposes, when they're running through drills and listen, Woodburn, you go over there and pretend
play
to be
11 in training games.
Marcus Rashford or whatever, or they're brought in for that sort of
stuff. Do you think he'd be as brave enough to have just 3 centre backs, and then if things got dire, like slot say Genie in there for a game or two, like he has to.
He has been shown to take chances
at certain points. Just
if they were solid,
things turned out.
Fabinho as well. That's
a big come in for Lovren, and they didn't get the ducks in a row to make a.
I can't see him taking
that risk,
a deal for Lovren if he hasn't got something else lined up. Because, like Andy said, say Lovren leaves, right, and he doesn't sign somebody. You're then left with Van Dijk, whose injury record is amazing, but anything can happen. You have Matip, that's had a great 6 months, but before that we all spoke about how kind of fucking
his durability.
And Gomez, although I've had endless fucking conversations and rows with Phil because I've said to him, look, he's being done on impact injuries. He hasn't. He doesn't pull up with a groin strain. He breaks legs. Tag, you know, that kind of way. But then you're left with them, and then you're looking at a 17-year-old in this Vandenberg lad who's played a handful of games in Holland.
15,
and
16 games.
Yeah, Matt Hoover. I always forget his first name. I always just think of Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves every time I think of him. But then you're looking at him who's probably just gone 17.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're kind of left with. You know, so no, I think if he was moving Lovren on, I think he'd be bringing someone else in.
Højbjerg will generally be trained as a right full for his positioning to come in at centre half eventually. Like obviously Gomez, we saw it done years ago with Carragher. There is an interesting situation happening over in Italy. Manolas is signed for Napoli, and Koulibaly is still slipping for a move out of there. And I don't think United are going to go after Koulibaly.
We are not spending 70 million.
I'm going to go all
or 90 million or whatever it is.
Are you going on this one? Go on.
Oh, you have
for a marker on this.
Koulibaly could end up in the Premiership quite soon.
Okay.
Yeah. Just with Manolas.
Do you think
I'd be blown away if Liverpool spent that money?
I was going to say, just on a scenario like that, do you think the club are going to, do you think they will potentially sign someone out of the blue?
I think we will get one big one out of the blue that will blow. Look at we've done recently and we won't go, jeez.
Mbappe.
Out of nowhere. Yeah.
There's
Mbappe Monday, isn't it?
There's a romance building between Mbappe and Liverpool, like no way.
Did anybody see
LeBron? Is it?
I don't know.
Through LeBron?
I don't know.
He met Sturridge.
There's
a picture of him and Sturridge.
Yeah.
But there was a brilliant picture on Twitter today, and it was
the one with the radio.
Yeah, it was like Mbappe's in like some desert, and he's like taking a picture. He has his hand up on this wall, and he goes, "Oh, there's Mbappe in town there," and just put into the images the radio CE tower behind him, like fucking amazing. It's like in a desert, and just the CE tower or the radio.
There's one better as well. There's him.
Yeah, it's but you're right.
We won't get him now.
No,
but if he keeps improving, he might get. He might get good enough to play for us.
If with World Cup winner Mbappe keeps improving,
if he keeps going the way he's going, I think he could actually end up.
They'll get rid of Neymar, won't they? They won't get rid of the two.
No, the whole transfer window, I think, centres around Neymar moving. It is going to set things off.
The domino effect. It does this all the time.
Yeah.
And you know what it is? I think it's clubs waiting to see where the marker stands.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
if like for argument's sake, if Zaha goes for 40, which he won't, we're discussing
it's going to go for 55.
Right, but if he goes for 40, just for argument's sake, everyone's going, well, that 70 I was spending on player X is now 50. You know, everyone gets dragged back into a certain area. Whereas if Neymar goes for 170 or 180, because I think he went for 220, didn't he, back into PSG? So if it goes somewhere around the 170, 180 mark, now it's like, one, where the fuck are Barcelona pulling the money from? Because he's still owed money for fucking half the
But isn't Coutinho likely to go?
Coutinho and Dembele are PSG are.
I'd take Coutinho back tomorrow.
No,
100%.
No,
100,000,000%.
It does send out the wrong message. It just opens up old wounds.
It just upsets the dressing room.
Yeah,
we were brilliant balance.
We've moved beyond that.
We can actually confirm that there's no interest.
Can you?
Several bids have been prepared.
Right.
For players.
Yeah. And they're waiting to be tabled. But
what about shirt suppliers?
What's the latest on the black Alisson keeper jersey? Is that available now in shops? And all good retail outlets?
They have
restocked.
No, it was held back because they only announced the new squad numbers yesterday because Alisson is now number 1 and Ox is now 15 because he's taking Sturridge's jersey. So that's why.
And Ox, the gent that he is paying for anyone whose shirt has been changed. What a gent.
I've seen a fella today. I've seen a young fella today. 15.
He's switching to Sturridge's.
Okay.
And Henderson, I think, is talk. He's going to take the number 6 jersey, I think.
I think I made that up.
Yes! He's just going to, instead of Henderson on the back of it, he's just going to say DM.
See, this is where the reality of Twitter gets blurred.
A few big hitters went on.
That Gav believes that deserves a fag, you know.
Because it wasn't you I saw it on. It was Jesus Christ.
With the story. I just said I just said that.
Let's talk about 6, baby.
I just think it would drive certain fans over the edge. Hang on a minute. I thought we were never going to see him in the 6 again. Now he's going to wear 4. fucking 6. This is fucking ridiculous, isn't it? Literally fucking gotta wear 6.
There's so little going on. This is perhaps weird.
Classic.
And I've only, you know, like, I did make it up, but I think if Lovren does go, there's every chance that Henderson will wear 6 because he lifted 6.
No, beautiful. It's a beautiful story, isn't it?
Yeah.
It would be, It would be quite poetic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because, like, you know, all the stick he got for playing the 6, all the stick he gets, you know.
And he lifted number 6.
Yeah, from fans saying they don't want to see him lift trophies. And then
that was just ridiculous,
they should
wasn't
get
it?
6 on the back of his jersey and make it bold.
Can I just say, just on his lifting the trophy, I thought it was I thought it went down as one of the best lifts ever.
It was, wasn't it?
I thought it was
poetic, wasn't it?
It was brilliant.
A lot of thought went into that.
I think so, yeah.
And I think he was counting the amount of little steps. Just perfect. Like
it was perfectly.
Like a conductor in
it was.
an orchestra.
It was.
I love Lovren's fucking getting straight in on that, like
on the act.
Yeah,
Lovren doing a Terry on it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. He almost celebrated like somebody who.
Yeah.
There was like Salah and Mane, the guys who actually scored and set up the goals, and they're like back behind him. It's just ridiculous. Like
he looks like he needed to be noticed.
Yeah,
and I'm not criticising.
That's his way. That is his way. By the way, I seen the the new intro for the Champions League next season. For
the real one
for BT Sport, the real one, and obviously it ends with that lift. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I've seen it myself. Yeah,
it just fits perfectly into the intro, and it's actually quite quite a lot of Liverpool, little clips.
Of course there will be.
You know what I mean? It just shows you, how much we've come on in these last few years.
I know we're joking about players and stuff like that, but is there anybody you think we will sign up front? Because
well, look, today the Pepe thing seems to be the big story, doesn't it? Grizz has confirmed that that there will be talks this week.
I just think
that's
with
representatives.
I find it really weird that Michael Edwards would actually come out and comment on it. Something like that. That was like really strange.
Yeah, but you have to remember, every time this happens,
the denials.
Every time it happens, it goes back to Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah, I know, but it's Edwards. Edwards doesn't talk.
Yeah, I know.
He never mutters a word.
I know he doesn't. Right now, I don't know how true it is that he done this. Right at the start, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Was Andy involved?
Yeah, it could have been Andy. Just Edwards was fucking saying sorry to them on the phone.
Was there any flashing lights involved?
There was loads of beacons.
But was Grizz talking to him in the chicken shack?
Don't mind Grizz, you've done the chicken.
Or the cat shack or whatever it is.
In all seriousness though, the Van Dijk thing hurt Liverpool in a bad way, right?
Yeah.
And they got Sean in a very bad light.
Yeah.
So any time it comes out about a player and stuff said like, the player has agreed to move to Liverpool.
Yeah.
That can't happen in a certain instance. It can happen if you go to a club and say, we want player X. And they can say, will you discuss it with him? And if he agrees, come back and we'll discuss terms on a transfer fee. That can happen. But the first bit of news coming out is that a player has agreed or has spoken to. That can't happen. And the Van Dijk thing hurt Liverpool badly. I don't know how true it is that Edwards said this, but it wouldn't surprise me if Liverpool did go to Lille and say, listen, we don't want anything to go on the rocks here. We haven't opened our mouth, and we're not going to open our mouth. Yeah. But just going back to the forwards and stuff like that, like there's talk of Origi getting a new deal. I'm presuming he's going to sign a new deal with a view to playing the sort of role he played last season with a bit more games. Brewster has been given promises. There's no shadow of a doubt about that. He's been made promises.
Well, look, he was.
I don't see. Does anyone actually see the front three starting the first game of the season? Given what they're what. Firmino's now in the semi-finals, the Copa,
all three away.
Yeah,
but they're all them tournaments are finishing the next week, aren't they? So you're looking at the end of the first week of July, 7th day July to be over.
Yeah,
but if you look, Brewster,
they won't be playing at Tranmere.
But Brewster's being made. No. I can't see them rushing. I can't see them rushing them back on a private plane with the City players to get to Tranmere. But Brewster has been made promises with regards to playing time, and he's back fit, so he's going to be looking for that.
Yeah.
You have the front three. They're going to have to sign somebody. They have to, because you can't rely on them three. And I'm not being bad on Origi or Brewster, but that's a drop off.
It is a drop off.
So you need somebody that's not quite as good as them three.
Now Brewster may, his progress may be phenomenal. We don't know what lies ahead, and apparently he's potentially, and we've seen Southgate do this before, but you could even see him in the England team before you see him in the Liverpool team.
Don't be surprised if you see Bobby Duncan in around that squad soon. 2 German clubs have tried to approach him to come over there now rather than see his contract out. So don't be surprised if Liverpool try and hold him that way.
Yeah, but I think if we don't sign someone to rotate around that front three, I think we are missing a trick. Yeah, because let's think about it. For me, when Firmino did go out, I think we kind of got lucky, really, that someone like Origi managed to step up. Yeah. I think as much as he'll go down in folklore for this season, I think we'd be kidding ourselves if we think that he's all of a sudden going to be at the same level as the other three lads.
It's whether he can be consistent or not. We've seen it before, whether he is, if he's coming on and he's got that brilliant spell against Southampton, and then he just the rest of the season he was unhurt. So it's he has blown hot and cold before.
Correct. Yeah, so he's gone off the radar. Yeah, he's gone. There was stages in last out
of the door.
Stages of last season where he kind of Klopp seemed to favour Origi for a while, and then Sturridge for a while, and then Origi, and he was yo-yoing between the two of them, really, wasn't he? So there is a drop off. There's a significant drop off if we are relying on Origi and a youngster like Brewster who's had no exposure to the first team so far.
I think we probably will sign a forward, but I think it will be someone that hasn't been mentioned at all. I think it'll be like Fabinho last season, just out of nowhere.
Well, the 3 obvious candidates: Bruno, Pepe, even potentially Fekir. Yeah. You don't think it'd be one of those 3?
I don't think it will be.
Andy?
I think Fekir now. Apparently, they're willing to take low ball figures for him now because of the injury.
40 million euros.
30 million. So, but do we want to deal with Aulas? He's like.
Well, you're not really dealing with him if you get 30. If you just go up and go, there's the 30 million.
Yeah, see you later. You've kind of dealt with him. You've done your dealing, haven't you, last time around?
There's a fiver. Get yourself a fucking kebab tray on the way home.
No more mention of Memphis. Has that gone? That seems to have gone cold. Yeah.
I do think it'd be in that mould. Someone that can play in the 10 and someone can play wide. I don't think we're going to get a centre forward as such. For me, as long as he's on form, and even if he's not on form, he's almost forced in the team. Yeah. And then you have Brewster, who Klopp has shown a massive amount of faith in, and he's being vocal about it. And I think Klopp has been proven with this in the past. Yeah. If Klopp believes that his boots are big enough to fill that spot, well, I believe him. And we've seen strikers come in like Owen, like Fowler, who scored bag loads of goals at youth level, have come in and just taken their chances. Yeah. And that's what's going to happen for Brewster this year. We're going to see whether he has it or not. Yeah. And if he doesn't, next season maybe they might look at bringing in someone of higher quality than Origi and Brewster. But I think we're covered at centre forward, that central position.
The Fernandes one for me is, like I said earlier, I don't think I've seen this fella play.
I haven't,
because I genuinely watch Liverpool. Yeah, and if there's a match on the telly, I might watch it. I wouldn't sit down and go, "Oh, the fucking Bundesliga's on at 7." I can't go to mass. I have to watch the match. You know what I mean? I genuinely don't do that. So I've asked people about him and what is he about, and a lot of them have said, "Look, he's not an 8. He's more of a 10." So you're probably looking at a change in formation there, whether it be a 4-2-3-1 to get him into the side. From what I've heard back from lads that I've spoken to about him, he's very Coutinho-like. Okay, he could probably play in that midfield if you were giving him a bit of a free role to play off the left, or he could play up. He could play further forward. I don't know if that'll happen. I still think Fekir is a perfect alternative to what we need.
Who can slot in the 3,
Fekir can play anywhere. Yeah. He can play as a 10, he can play in the midfield, he can play wide, he can go up front and play this false 9 or whatever you want to call it. But he's played in all these positions.
And funnily enough, you say about not seeing players and all that sort of stuff. I tried to make a point of watching some of the games after we failed in signing Fekir, and what I seen from him, I was pretty impressed by in terms of his role in that. You know, in terms of being able to come and slot into that three.
Them four positions. Yeah. If you sign Bruno, you might as well stop Ox's progress or coming back from injury, because that's where he'll be. He's more or less finding his place. Yeah, you're paying 70 odd million to replace Ox. Let's be honest here.
He's the link.
Yeah, that's that one position that Ox plays and plays very well.
Or are you paying it? And we go back to, I fucking hate saying it because it causes murder. But are you saying Lallana is one we wanted in that sort of position to complement Ox when they can nearly job share? Because listen, you can't keep going on about an 11. You have to have a squad where no matter 100%. What week of the fucking year it is, you can say, I'm putting him in because he's as good as him. You're not literally holding back some of the squad till the end of the season and look, you know, trying to put out fires with these players. You're saying he's as good as him. Yeah. And if he plays better, he's playing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
If there's a drop off.
Yeah, not even if it's a drop off. Let them both train all week and whoever plays the best plays. Yeah. So it could be a case of saying, look, we could probably get 20 for Lallana and we bring this lad in. It'll cost us 40 as an outlay because of Lallana being sold. But he's better than Lallana and he's there more than him and he does more than him. He could be one of those. You never know.
There was 3 times last year where Klopp turned around and actually said he's been doing so well in training this week. Or through...
Yeah.
He was one of them.
He played against Burnley at home.
There you go. Yeah, he could just run a height in West Ham senses.
Yeah.
But let's not forget, in Klopp's first year, everything was set through Lallana, lads. He was fabulous.
He was a trigger for the press. Yeah, that's what he was.
And the way Klopp played that year, but Klopp has changed totally in since that formation. He has changed it. He wants someone to break the lines. He wants someone to get goals. Lallana didn't get enough goals from that position, let's be honest. I think that's where he could be moved on potentially.
Well, just for me, like we're after going through defenders and the midfield seems fairly stocked. You know, like Grujic goes away on loan again. I think that's where an idea of Milner gets one more season and Grujic is probably brought in then as a replacement.
Potentially,
he's not a carbon copy of him, but he is somebody who can get around the pitch. He can be physical. He's decent on the ball. I've seen a few clips from Arteta and he's breaking through midfield trying to score goals. Great,
huge.
You know, I'm not sure he's got the brain that Milner maybe not, has to come on,
but that'll have to come on. And an extra year in Germany, won't do him any harm. So if we're talking about a cover at left back, he might do something at centre half if Lovren goes. He may do. He may not. He has to put his money up the other end of the pitch. And if that means 2, possibly 3, so be it. You know what I mean? Like 80 and 90 million I think is a bit much. I think if he went out, he could probably do Bruno, Pepe and fucking Fekir for somewhere in the region of 140 million. And he could do it. He could just say, put them all in there and we've all guns blazing and no matter what team we put out every week, we have the thing. But Fekir for me is still the one that you go, I'd have him all day long.
What you've also got to remember is we are doing a lot of decent business in terms of selling players. You know, we're getting decent returns. You know, Danny Ings today, 20 million in the coffers.
I don't think we retain Wilson.
Even when we sold Danny Ward, we got what, 13 million, 14 million.
I think he gives Wilson pre-season.
Yeah,
sees if the standard of his quality and once the quality that we have is there. If, let's just say mid-August, he's looking and going, right, maybe in the pre-season.
Well, it can't be. It'll have to be the end of July.
Apologies with the new window. If he looks within that time and goes, no, he's not near the standard of a Mane or a Salah as opposed from that.
But he has a set price on that people are willing to pay now.
But he can
they've seen what he can do.
He can also play that middle role as well that we've just been talking about, Fekir and all them other boys going to. And lads, he is cocky. He has that nonchalance about him. Lovely word that.
Yeah. I'll mark that.
He does have that about him where he can play in them positions. He's really good on the ball. He's skillful. So why not try him?
And he's got a free kick in his bag as well, hasn't he?
And we don't have
free kick specialists. I was surprised to see Salah banging a free kick
the other night
for Egypt. You know, he doesn't take free kicks for us.
Well, in fairness, really. Trent has just turned around all of them now and going, I'm on this.
He's everything for Egypt. He takes throw-ins.
There's no doubt after that season, you know, FSG, Henry as he is involved in baseball, that he doesn't turn around and go, right, I want that guy. He's going to cost me. Go and get him, and then go and get your Clavin type player for your left full to sit in and play 10, 15 games a season. Go and get someone else to play at centre half, the same type of player, even a younger lad as well. And you push Lovren out, you get 20 odd million on him. Don't be surprised to see one big boy come in.
We've talked a lot about transfers, but obviously we've touched on a lot of players in that last 10-15 minutes, and players who this season's is a massive season for them. You know, there's probably at least 5 or 6, I'd say, who are probably sitting there going, you know, what happens over the next 6 months, 12 months is really going to determine whether I stay at this club in the long term or not. So, for you, Andy, which player in the current squad would you say this really is a critical season for them, and why? It mightn't be just for them; it might be for the sake of the club and what we can do this season in terms of challenging.
Who we might end up looking to, like outside the obvious, and Alisson, Van Dijk.
No, I think it's someone
who might be someone who you might think they've got a bit to prove. Yeah, they might have had a struggle last season.
Or they need to go on the next step.
Yeah.
It has to be Chamberlain, I think.
Okay.
You know, like he was unbelievable 2 seasons ago. Towards the end of the season when he got that role he played in and how important he was in Europe.
Yeah.
And then he, you know, didn't play football really at all last season. What's next season going to be like for him? Is he going to fall behind? Like, if he has a second season now in the team, that's him going to finish at Liverpool. And he's someone who, if he does switch it back on, could become as important as your Mané and Salah and Firmino. So, Chamberlain.
He was on that. He was definitely on that path, wasn't he, of becoming a really integral part.
Yeah.
He had a really kind of slow start. You know, he wasn't really he didn't seem to be fitting in, did he, at first? No. And then all of a sudden, he just exploded. I think a lot of it was down to confidence. I think a lot of it was down to Klopp's man management, really, of putting an arm around him and telling him.
City goal. Yeah. You know, that sport. Everyone went, Jesus, that was his
signature goal.
Sit up and notice me now.
That was the type of player that the Arsenal fans spoke up, like, you know, their imagination of him.
Yeah.
You know, like we see a player coming through and we're talking them up. And it never happens. It just never happened at Arsenal. Everyone will believe that that's never going to happen for him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it happened. And just like Robertson slow coming into the team, Fabinho slow coming into the team, all of a sudden they just established themselves. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
And then to get such an injury, and Gomez as well, you know, the two of them.
Yeah.
Like,
I would agree with you.
I'd go with you. I can't think of any. Yeah, Gomez, if he gets another injury, he's in
a shaky position.
Because
he start getting that reputation.
Yeah, well,
that's
it. So,
and he will start, especially if Matip establishes himself as that number 2.
God, imagine saying that at the beginning of the last season. If Matip establishes himself, it's like it's just mind blowing that how that his progression last season was just unbelievable. So it'd be what we need to see. I suppose Matip has to be as consistent as he was in those last 7 months last season, and you know. But I think Gomez and Chamberlain, obviously because of the injuries they've sustained, and you know Brewster.
Don't pick them on.
No.
Don't pick all the players on.
No, those two.
Leave one for Gar there. Go on.
Outside of those two.
Harry Wilson.
Harry Wilson,
yeah, he's mine. Yeah. Just watched a lot of that last year.
That
stands out off me. I love the way he plays. He's got a cockiness about him, nonchalance about it.
Yeah. But there's a lot.
He's saying that word.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it.
The thing is, I mean, you're touching on an area which you know, there's players that come through and excite us, and they don't quite make that jump. I mean, Ben Woodburn's in that position now. Curtis Jones is in that position. And Harry Wilson is someone, you're right, Harry Wilson's someone who has the potential to make the jump because his loan went so well. And he got some exposure there in some big games.
There's huge history of players in the Premier League who've gone to Championship and stood out well. And obviously Harry Kane's another. I don't mean to jump off the team.
Yeah.
He's gone on loan. He's done it on loan. He's come back and said, right, I'm going to pull my socks up here and I need to prove myself. Yeah. That's just why I think he can fall into that group.
He got himself involved in a serious battle at the top of that table as well. So that sort of experience and that sort of dressing room.
And there was big moments as well, Andy. There was free kicks. There was also a penalty.
He scored at Old Trafford.
You know, big stuff, big things that he stood out for.
He won goal of the month for Derby, I think, about 7 out of 9. It was mad. Like.
Yeah, and that's a player with talent, lads. You don't do that.
Yeah,
and that's a tough league. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
people have gone to that league. Look at Woodbourne's loans have been a joke.
I know.
And his development must have gone back.
Woodburn for me just doesn't know what position he wants to play in the pitch.
Yeah, his development must be going back.
He's not fast enough to be a striker. I don't think he's physical enough to be a midfielder. He might be something in between.
Yeah.
Like the lads have picked all them players, and I agree with them. I think Gomez, it's a massive season for. Yeah. I don't think it's a massive season in terms of his overall performance. I just love to see him get through a season.
Yeah,
goes through a season, and he comes out the other end, and it's like, you know, he's going to the Euros, or I think it's the Euros next year, isn't it?
It is.
He's going to the Euros. You know, Chamberlain, back from injury. Dipped in and out a little bit towards the end of last season to see how he was, but he has to come back in. For me, it's Naby Keita.
Correct. When I thought of that question, it was the person who.
It's Naby Keita, because Naby Keita, if you look, and I think the big thing that's gone against Naby Keita is actually Henderson not being a DM anymore. You know, he's gone into this attacking role. Not attacking. He's
more advanced.
He's encouraged to get forward more. Let's put it that way. So if you look at the team, the way it started, and I always go back to the first day of the season when Aldum sat, Milner literally as a central midfielder played right wing. It was outrageous. But Naby Keita was the one that got this little free roll and was progressed on, and he got the ball and was allowed to run with it. Henderson has kind of taken this up on the right side of the pitch now. So, and then you've Chamberlain coming back, if he proves like the lads want him to, it's Naby Keita's position he's going to prove himself in. So for me, Naby Keita, he showed flashes near the end of last season, a couple of goals, a couple of assists, really trying to control games at certain times, you know. Really good against Chelsea at home, if I remember right. But for me, Naby Keita needs to come out into this season and go, no, hold on, don't be minding Henderson going forward, and don't be worrying about fucking Oxlade-Chamberlain. Give me the ball and I'll show you what it's all about. And the big thing for Keita last season was, is he good enough defensively? You know, is he tracking enough? Is he working hard enough? For me, the big thing is them three boys up front, he needs to know exactly where they are and what runs they make, because if he starts clicking with one, he'll click with two, and he'll click with three, and next thing he'll be an assist machine, and he won't be out of sight.
Funnily enough, it was the pre-season, wasn't it, where he struck up that kind of sort of a partnership with Sturridge. We need him to strike up similar partnerships with a Mane.
He needs to hit a couple of balls that land at Mane or Salah or Firmino. You know, he needs to, and all it takes is one or two of them, and next of all, I know where he is. I know what he's going to do, you know, and you're flying then.
The worry with him is he hasn't played.
His durability was really. I mean, you know, a lot of fans were questioning, you know, his ability to bounce up from a challenge, because he went down, and he went off on a few occasions with things which didn't really seem like they were going to be that serious at the time that it occurred.
He lost the ball.
Sudden he goes off.
He lost the ball unforced an awful lot. And now not so much when he got into his rhythm, but he gets pushed off the ball running away from players as well, which is strange. Like, it's like once you're away, you should be able to get your body in front of the player you've just moved past. But instead, he was getting tackled, and it looked like a foul because, of course, he's lost the ball with someone behind him. But it was just like he just wasn't up to physically. I'm not worried about him. Like, the jury's obviously still out on him. I think I decided around January we probably wouldn't see Keita, like,
the best of him.
And the wait to come to Liverpool probably didn't do him any favours either.
That year wait or whatever.
You know, must have been difficult for him, you know, surrounded by fellas that are committed to that team, and he's gone and he's got his eye elsewhere.
He also had no responsibility, Gav, at his previous club, whether, look, you know, he was playing in a 4-4-2 for most of that season. Like, you know, that, as you say, that final season, just sitting there knowing you're going out there, like, in any player's head, and he knows they're not going to challenge for that league. So and they were in Europe that year as well. They were in Europe, weren't they, that year as well? His disciplinary was through the roof. He was getting red cards like a mad thing.
The way Liverpool played, you can't afford to be a passenger in any way, shape or form. You can't just stick on the autopilot and get through a 90 minutes.
In any game,
off your own talent.
You guys know from playing golf, etc. Like, if he's had nearly a year, let's call it a year off, where he's been getting sent off, where he's had.
I only need 3 days off.
But he hasn't really. Not that he's not cared about it, but he knows he's moving. His self-interest is gone. He knows he's not challenging for anything. Then he's come to Liverpool, where the standard, let's be honest, is a lot where the expectation from our fans alone is huge, and he's come to that, and he's struggled with it. Let's be honest.
I've defended him because you're talking about that year where everyone knew he was coming, and it was literally a year of expectation, and it just built and built and built. You have to remember, he signed for Liverpool for probably about £8 million more than Oxlade-Chamberlain. It wasn't a hell of a lot in it. Oxlade-Chamberlain was given time, don't worry about it, he's out on the right, he'd get there, you know, the kind of, this fella comes in, but it was just, everything was thrown on him, and he was taking this number 8 jersey, he'd known it once since Gerrard, and there was all sorts of stuff, so he had all that on top of him as well, you know, with a guy coming from Germany, trying to integrate into a squad, and a completely different way of playing football. Let's be honest about it. So
I think
I don't doubt him. I'd love to see him just take a couple of games with a scruff of the neck early in the season, bang it, not even score, just put a few on a play for the player and go. He's on it. He's fucking.
He was brilliant at the first game of the season last year. West Ham.
He was brilliant.
And second game as well. He was decent.
He was brilliant against West Ham,
flicking over lads' heads, etc. Wasn't he? And taking the ball out of
against West Ham. He went forward. He tracked back, and then he was in the middle of midfield, and I think Sturridge came on, and might have been for Salah or one of them, and he went over onto the left side of midfield, and he was unreal. He was just every time he got it, he was moving, he was turning, he was opening teams West Ham up now, and that's not a major fucking achievement in life at that stage. You know, the kind of way they were like, Mark Noble was about 8 stone overweight running around.
Relegation.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
but he was 6 weeks. Just the way he held himself on the pitch, he looked quality. But look, listen, it's great to have options like him. And
funny enough, had he have come in now after we just won a European Cup, the pressure probably wouldn't have been as great on him, because we've won a trophy. We're on this high.
Without him.
We're just looking for something that maybe, you know, bolsters the squad sort of thing.
And, or even if he signed last summer like he did, but not with the agreement the year before. You know, it's just £48 million signing.
He was that player we expected to bring us on that level. Now we kind of came on that level this season, of course, going all the way and winning the Champions League and going toe-to-toe with City for the whole season. Without him, we came on that level.
Correct,
now is his chance to bring us on that level.
You
know,
everyone has to go up a level, because at the end of the day,
everyone needs to give us that extra push.
Of course you do, because you won a Champions League, and that's amazing. You know, don't get me wrong, it's an amazing feat. The way we played, the way we got through Barcelona, etc., etc., etc. But at the end of the day, we fell short in the league. No matter what way you fucking paint it, and what way you try gloss it up, they need to go. Every player in that squad, plus whoever comes in, there needs to be a 5% increase across the board. You know, in the depth of the squad, the quality of the squad, and the performance of anyone that's already there, and people coming in. It needs to go up probably 5%. League terms. It does, because City, you said earlier, you can't stand still. Absolutely. You never stand still. Always improve and strengthen from a position of strength. That's what you should. And Liverpool have always done it in the time they were successful. That's all they ever done. Listen, talk of 20 million budgets and all for the season is complete and utter bollocks as far as I'm concerned. You know,
we made
just
$750 million last
season. They have to make up stories to me. They have to go. You know, they don't know what's going on. And we've seen.
You know what's going on, but you won't.
Thankfully you don't make any enough. And we've got nightly progress.
It's just a big table with a load of bids on it.
Andy, are we signed LeBron or what?
Yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Deadly.
So look, people need to just relax. Like, look, Twitter's not great.
We've a month, haven't we? Look, we've another month before we need to.
Have
our 5 weeks
business concluded, more or less.
5.5 weeks, is it? What? When does the Premier League start?
It starts on that Friday night. I presume the transfer deadline is the day before the Friday, is it?
The 10th of August, is it?
Friday is the 10th, I think.
So it'll finish on the. It'll finish on the.
Are we playing the Friday?
It'll finish on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So the 8th.
Is it the Wednesday?
Yeah, or else it'll go to Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
One or the other. So you've a good 5 weeks. Is it?
Oh, so I was right. So it is August.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, August the 9th is August the 9th is
we
Friday,
never do anything on deadline day, so we'll have our transfers wrapped up 2 to 3 weeks before.
That's what I mean, like this month it has to happen.
Ian Air pulls up outside Melbourne and a motorbike and goes, listen, knock off all the lights, we're out of here. Does that around noon, 12:30. Then down to Witherspoon.
Just leave the light on that European Cup.
Goes down to Beehive for a few points. And then that's
the only
it.
way we do late
Which Beehive?
The only way we do late
the one we're barred from
is if there's a saga. Van Dijk type saga where we get linked to a player, but it gets out.
There's a bidding war and etc.
Shit, you know.
Yeah.
But hopefully they don't do that again. And I expect us to sign a couple of players in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Fact,
I'd agree.
You know, I know. But
3 would be my number. No, 3. I'm not including the likes of this Van den Berg and stuff like that. 3 would be my number.
Three proper
lads. It would surprise me if deals were done up to the Champions League and some players, if it's a big player, said, right, I'll see how he's progressed through this and go from there. Because if we had lost the Champions League and the likes of Real had to come in for our bigger players or Barcelona, then we would have been up Ship Creek. Now we're at a stage, right, where if we've pre-bidded for players, they've gone, right, now we're at the top table. Now it can go on.
Maybe we're just waiting to see if
the snowball.
Maybe we're just waiting to see if Messi stays injury free in the Copa America, and then we just whack the bid in.
And if he improves, he might get into the team.
he's defo not training with Robbo, lads. Defo not training with Robbo. Robbo hates him and Robbo hate each other.
Great to see Suarez in tears, by the way.
Brilliant, isn't it?
I have to say, listen,
all the talk about Coutinho, I'd take him back.
Yeah.
Suarez.
Would you?
Yeah.
Suarez, yeah.
He's such a bastard.
Yeah, listen, I think it's because he's just mad that you take him back. But at the end of the day, he done very similar to what Coutinho done in order to get out of the club. He done it 2 summers in a row.
I'd forgive him.
Not only that, he bought the gaff next door for Coutinho, then didn't he?
Yeah. Like so, it's look.
He's just an animal. Like it doesn't matter. Like
he's a complete lunatic. Like he's trying to claim a penalty because the fucking keeper handballed the ball, and then another player tripped up a pitch invader and he tried to get him booked and sent off. And all this. He's an absolute headbanger. He is.
He's not. You know? He's not living in the same world. He's just mad shit going on in his head.
What is he? 32 now.
Yeah, but I think he could play for loads of seasons. He doesn't depend on pace. Like
he never has.
Doesn't get
really,
injured.
has he?
Yeah.
It's just
I don't know. For me, it'd be too much money involved to get him in, and then what? Say to Firmino, you're not playing? No, not for me. Not for me.
So look, we'll move on from the transfers, and I guess there's not much more to talk about. But I guess the last thing I just want to touch on pre-season. Obviously, there's the couple of local games, and then there's the tour in America, which is pretty standard now. Will you pay much attention to the games that go on out in the States, or will you just kind of,
in terms of the value on them, like
just as a passing interest, in terms of will you be looking out for for particular players and seeing what impact they're making while they get the chance, the likes of Harry Wilson, likes of Brewster, players like that? Is that
it's always going to whet your appetite.
Yeah.
Pre-season games, just last few pre-seasons haven't told massive stories. You've seen like Sturridge playing in a deep role, and people thought then that this was and you've seen Grujic playing so well and never happens for them. A lot of the time it's just players just getting a feel for the football again, and the heroes don't emerge in pre-season. But it just gets us back watching the Reds again and starts to get us excited about the season starting.
I expect
you could have Simon Mignolet in fucking goal for the first game of the season.
We will, actually
temper things a bit.
No, while you're touching on that, I have to say, we've abused him a lot on this show.
No, we haven't.
We haven't actually. We haven't.
Different.
No, James has just abused him, right? His professionalism last year, lads,
disgrace really
was absolutely quality. Every game he
how many games did he play?
He must play one, did he?
Fucking brilliant.
Chelsea League Cup.
Can we make it 0 this year?
Chelsea League Cup.
His professionalism, I have to say, was a credit to himself. He came out and he was always praising Alisson. He was always, it was class, it just shows you the atmosphere that is around, that Klopp has around the squad. And if he's going to stay and be our second keeper, so be it.
I know. Question his attitude when we carry us, because he was doing a lot of talking if he wasn't getting games, but you can see why. He was training. He wasn't that funny.
He obviously wasn't.
He's looking at Alisson going, "I'm having a hope."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he did
he's
the same.
bleeding gorgeous, and he doesn't have anything in the goal.
He's playing a different sport. Let's face it.
He did the same with Courtois for a couple of years, and Courtois got found out eventually.
Yeah.
So is he the next Octoberg in waiting, lads?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we sacked Agderberg and made Mignolet the goalkeeping coach? That would be fucking amazing.
Please send that to Phil.
That's ITK stuff right there.
No, I tell you,
that's next level stuff.
Listen, I'm all right with him being.
That's 4D chess you're playing there.
Yeah, but I'm all right with him being second keeper once he doesn't play.
Yeah,
exactly.
Genuinely, that's no. That's I'm not lying. I don't want Simon and go with Liverpool ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I genuinely don't.
Well, he's going to start.
There's no need. There's absolutely zero need, is there? No. You know, that's the point of it.
But
like,
it's not
there's no
even
need for him to. There's no need for him to really drop Alisson in the League Cup or the FA Cup.
I'm all for a young keeper coming in, whether it's that Kelleher or Grabara or whoever they are. But I want someone that comes in, right, and basically says, I've watched Alisson for the last year and I do exactly what he does. Not to the same level, but I try to do exactly what he does, whether it's with crosses, shots, distribution with me hands, me feet, position when we're up the pitch, position when we're not. That's what I want. Mignolet is none of them things. You know what I mean? He'll go in the summer anyway. I think we're talking about something he won't be there.
Do you think so? Yeah, you don't think he'll settle into that number 2 for another year?
For himself,
I think he goes and tries to get first team football.
That's he should.
Joyce had an article out a while ago saying he was going to stay, so we shall see.
Well, maybe he's on nice money and he decides a bit like Origi, get nice money and I'll have a certain role. And I'm happy with it.
Like that.
I guess he's got. There's the European Championships coming up as well. Does he still? I presume he's still Belgium's number 2. Is he?
But see, Courtois was in a bit of trouble as well, and Royal probably possibly looking at signing a new keeper as well.
Miggs.
I always have this, being a romantic Liverpool fan, of Reina coming back in some capacity someday.
See, look, I don't get any of this. I'm in this sort of camp of don't go back. Do you know what I mean? Don't go back to some of these.
You never go back to your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know what it's like.
Yeah.
You want something exciting. You never go back to the same shit all the time. Fact. Mark.
Yeah, mark that.
Yeah, I just think
that's a veiled message to Phil, is it? He doesn't listen to podcasts, so okay.
So you don't need to worry.
Yeah, you don't need to mark it.
Yeah, I suppose like we saying we made our own history in recent years, like, you know, Rafa coming in and he's embedded in the club now, and all these players, they don't necessarily need to come back.
Yeah.
But when you cross paths with like huge, massive talents like Rain and Alonso, and I think they've more to offer after they're finished playing football.
Oh yeah, I don't mind that. On that
he brought the family back of the game, Andy, didn't he? He brought the whole family went to the final.
Yeah.
I don't mind them rocking up in the main stand watching the games.
I don't know. There's traditionally, I think in football, you go back to your ex-players for your backroom staff anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Like some teams are mad. Like I think the Lampard links with Chelsea, like it's so premature.
Insane.
It's unbelievable. You know?
Absolutely
insane.
It looks like it's going to happen as well, because there was a statement by Derby saying they're giving him more time to. It's mad though.
They must be. They are getting the transfer ban for 2 years.
2 years.
Well, then that's why he's getting it.
Come settle him. He knows it. He knows the
work with what you have, and that's
just try and improve.
And then
how did they get to sign Kovacic?
Because he was on their books already.
Right, okay.
He knows the 75 young lads that
Andy
come back
said
on
he could
loan.
do it. He rang Andy, and Andy said, "Yeah, go on."
He threw in the exception.
They won't struggle anyway because they do have so many players out now.
Yeah, they just grab.
You know, they've been moneyballing. We got the name for being the moneyballing team, but they're the ones that moneyball. They buy players for 20-30 million, and it's nobody thinks that about it. And they don't even ever pay them.
But
as
we now have a high amount of players out on loan, and we've seen Grujic today go for a 2 million loan fee. You know, that's the guts of nearly 70 players. That 2 million is not bad money to buy players every year.
These loan fees, this is a kind of a semi-new thing. Like you've seen Lukaku now linked to Italy for a 20 million loan fee for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, but that's with a view to or an obligation to buy, which will probably be 50 million after that.
Kovacic was the same.
But look,
the Italians will never get stung with that.
No.
Yeah, no. This one with Lukaku originally was something like 10 or 15 million. You know, a loan fee with an obligation to buy, and now there's talk of is it Inter? He was
Inter, yeah.
Yeah, and I think now it's looking like Inter are willing to pay 50 up front.
Conte wants him, doesn't he?
Yeah, so I don't know. He's fucking shy anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So look, very quiet. Everybody's really quiet.
They're all waiting for one to big bang to go.
I thought Lukaku was good at Glastonbury.
Yeah, he was good.
He's good, yeah.
He was.
People listening won't know what that's about, and they think it's something more than it is. So
Lukaku.
Explain that.
And Stormzy, no?
He's the image of him.
No, but that was an Irish.
They were well getting that. They were well getting that. That went everywhere, Andy. That went everywhere.
Well, they get it now.
Back in the Herald.
Yeah, the hell did it. I'm shared it to the UK as well. It's murder over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going home.
Yeah, it is home time, isn't it? So look, we'll wrap up. We've got another month of speculation. At least we will get to see the Reds at some point this month. We've got the pre-season to look forward to, all the way up to the big first trophy opportunity in the Charity Shield against Manchester City on the 4th of August. Yeah. Early prediction for the Charity Shield, Gav.
4-1 the Reds.
4-1, yeah.
Yeah, Harry Wilson to get 3.
Gar, Charity Shield.
Pepe Reina to save a panel.
Charity Shield prediction.
Penal's Liverpool.
Penal's Liverpool.
2-1 City.
You won't be asked back.
Is that fair?
Andy.
Yeah, what sort of value do we place in this game? Like, what's it going to tell? Like, is this an opportunity?
Can't get a ticket.
Is this an opportunity for
win a
Klopp
trophy
to get further into Pep's head, or is it maybe an opportunity to play young players and write it off a little bit and not give away too much?
I think both teams will play a fairly strong team, considering their first game is 6 and 7 days later.
Yeah,
I think they will. But look, there's nothing riding on it. Let's be honest.
Right, I know you want
there's nothing riding in terms of lifting the.
No, but there's nothing riding on a full
the McDonald's
stop.
Cup or whatever it is now.
You know what I mean?
But
I want to win trophies.
there's like the sort of last 3 or 4 months of the season, how tense it was. Like, we could be looking at that beginning on the 4th of August.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I don't
that
think so.
pressure.
I don't think so. I think you'll see a fairly slow-paced game.
Cagey.
I think you'll see a lot of changes in it. I think you'll see a lot of youngsters maybe starting or coming on.
Coming back from
And both squads are in similar positions where you have African nations and you have Copa America.
Yeah.
I think you'll see them.
Women's World Cup.
The Cricket World Cup. But look, I think with that amount of players coming back, you might see them players being told you're playing an hour, and then there won't be anything on this.
Right, I know you're trying to wrap up there, but I want to see Pep's interview
The
in
interview
Spain.
there, yeah.
I don't know if Andy translated that and stuck to the boiler.
I need to see someone translate that.
Yeah.
Are you saying you
Do you know what got me? Do you know what got me? He's grand and your man's he's talking and they're translating it and it's grand and the host is there going yeah and then he says it's a bugger of a ground to go to and I'm like no
What is the Spanish
fucked
word
up
for
there. Do you know what I mean? No fucking Catalonian fellas walking around going fucking bugger of a day. That doesn't happen. You know what I mean? He's on Coronation Street.
We need someone to go and translate that.
Yeah, no, it's not real.
No. On the Women's World Cup, is there any women that you would take?
To USA looks good, doesn't she?
That's nearly finished now as well, is it? That seems to be
I
going
think
on
so.
forever.
England are in the semis. That's
Tomorrow.
all I know.
Have you got your flags hanging out your window now?
I'll wait till the final.
Yeah. I'd say you
wouldn't
I wouldn't even say you were joking. You know what I mean? English, not scouts over there.
I think there's 3 or 4 teams that are actually playing football.
What? No, there's loads of them. There's 3 tournaments going on. There's loads of teams playing football.
No, the Women's World Cup or whatever it
Or
is.
trying to play football, playing the good standard and stuff like that.
Do you mean like the US?
Like they are.
England.
They have a set way of playing.
They're playing football unlike what the women's football was years ago. They're starting to really come on and look like footballers.
Yeah.
Now I know the US women's team were thumped by the under 14s, weren't they?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Liverpool 14s.
No, the USA women's against USA
Men's
14s.
14s. Okay.
Like it was 8-0 or something like that.
Right.
It was something outrageous. It might even be more. Could have been
Okay.
10 as well. So
The one thing I've noticed is they go in hard. Like they know how to put a tackle in.
yeah. There's a few little phases of play that they're like they're replicating the real thing.
The only thing.
Replicate FIFA.
I'm cutting that out. The only thing that stood out for me, and like you're going back years about women's football, was the goals look just way too big
For the goalies.
when they were playing. You know what I mean? But now, like it's like I suppose male footballers that everyone's getting bigger and stronger, more, and women are the same.
Yeah.
You know, there's a there's a girl playing there for France, and there was a video going around a couple of weeks ago, and they're like, this is literally the female version of Van Dijk, and she's up and fucking plants a header, and like it's like she's a monster, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, French one, but I might watch that England one tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
Don't watch football, but I might watch that.
I've watched them and they've been good.
They have been decent. And they're good at closing games out.
Who's your tip to win it?
England.
England will be mine too.
And who's in the other semi-final? Sweden and
the US, is it?
Sweden and England played the US.
England playing US, yeah. Sweden, is it something like Italy,
Germany.
is it?
Netherlands, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Netherlands, yeah.
I think the Dutch will win it. But anyway,
I think the English media have helped the game a lot. Like the profile in English football, like they've come on an awful lot. Like they're getting good exposure now, and they're on the TV.
They're getting better terms.
Yeah.
And there's more and more women's teams joining the Premier League sort of things, isn't there?
And they have
only joined last season.
And there's a Champions League as well.
Yeah. And then
because Leon are the champions.
I'd love if
Chelsea went quite far. I don't know.
I'd love if India could win the Cricket World Cup for Grizz.
Yeah. That'd make his day.
Yeah.
Make his year.
Yeah, he loves the Indians.
He loves the cricket.
He doesn't fucking know anything about cricket.
He does.
He doesn't.
He does. He's gone all cricket, ITK and all kinds.
Yeah, but he pretends to know
about
football.
ITK became plumbers.
What?
He got stung by a plumber there.
Listen, don't go into a place for the love of God. Jesus, don't. Yeah,
well, look, I'll just give you. I'll wrap up and give you my prediction for the Charity Shield. I think
I didn't even get to the mine.
Go on.
I just talk shit there for 20 minutes and then
give us a score.
4-3 Liverpool.
4-3.
Yeah,
no, I think 2-1 Liverpool. I think they will want to win it. I think a 2-1 in either direction. Like, yeah, the last thing you want to do is City to beat us handily. Do you know what I mean? Like that would be a pretty negative marker placed on the beginning of the season if they beat us 3 or 4-0. Do you know
that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, just to think if you do go out there and that happens, like the media be all over that.
Yeah,
because it's all about Liverpool and City now.
It is.
There's no one else involved.
I think, and looking at it, I think we've got we'll go into it in future weeks on the podcast. But like those first 6 or 7 games are just critical for how the season pans out.
Every game is critical.
I know, but on paper, I think City have got a much easier start to the season.
Yeah, I think the only play is the top 10, they only have something like 3 games against the top 10 in their first 12 or something like that. Liverpool play 6 of the top 10 in their first 10 or something like that. So. But look, you play each other twice.
I know. Right, we'll wrap it up. It's good to be back. It is the club. We're here on a Monday, which is our natural home. So hopefully we'll stick to that in future. And
making trippers fun again. The
Unbearable Reds. Yeah.
The Unbearable Trippers.
That goes without saying.
So from all of us in the bunker, looking forward to the season ahead, and we'll speak to you next week. And don't forget, Gav will be back tomorrow with his daily show. It's about 1 o'clock, is it, Gav?
1 o'clock's the target every day, yeah.
Is it? Yeah, 1 o'clock every day.
Won't last.
So I'll give it till next week. So we'll speak to you next week. Over and out.